lesson, gems shining each week, helping you.
Hi teachers, welcome back to another year of teaching. I'm Brother Hegemann, and I just want to give a shout out to all of our new seminary teachers and just say thank you for having the faith to say yes to this wonderful calling. You may feel some mornings like you're stepping out of the boat like Peter onto water and hoping that the Lord's going to help you walk, and I promise you that He will, and keep your focus on Him even on those tough days when the wind's blowing, and I promise you you'll have a great experience. Before we jump into the lesson today, I want to show you where you can go to get all of the PowerPoints and Google Slides for each of these lessons, and those are built to mirror exactly what's found here in the teacher's manual. So they're a fantastic resource. In the description below, I've put this link for this website that I've built, and when you come into this home page, if you'll just click on this PowerPoints and Slides, it'll take you right into my Google Drive. We'll go into life preparation lessons, and it's lesson 164. You'll notice here there's a Google Slides version and a PowerPoints version for whichever one you like to use. Please download it to your computer first before you try to do any editing, and that way it'll allow you to. I've also put in here my adaptations to what's in the teacher's manual for just a couple of things that I've added so that you don't have to recreate those slides. I want to point out a couple things about the slides that you'll, either Google Slides or PowerPoint. When you open those up, make sure and look in the notes section here because there's going to be some important information. So for example, I was pleasantly surprised when I opened this one up and saw that How Firm a Foundation, the song, is already embedded in this slide, so I could use that when the students were coming in, or I could use it for the opening hymn. I want you to know, and if you come to this slide right here that's hidden, we see that Wendy Bird is the one who made all of these, and she's left these notes for you right here. She took all of the teacher's manual lessons and she's made them into these PowerPoints, and they look fantastic. So a shout out to Wendy if you want to drop her a little note. Here's her email address. But I love that in all of these slides, she's put some important things for you to be aware of. And so take a minute and look at those notes as you're going through and prepping your lesson. You'll find some important information on all those, but just a huge shout out to Wendy for making all of these. As we get ready and jump into this lesson today, remember that the whole point of the lesson is always going to be this last sentence in the first paragraph. Today's lesson is going to give the opportunity for students to understand how doctrinal mastery can bless their lives and to help them build a spiritual foundation on Jesus Christ. But I was concerned at how this lesson started out. So it reminded me of something President Boyd K. Packer taught years ago in his book, Teach Ye Diligently. President Packer talked about growing up playing kick the can. I don't know if you remember that, but I actually played kick the can as well. And everybody would go high. When the person who was counting finished, they would shout out loud,
"Ready or not, you shall be caught."
Well, President Packer used that analogy to talk about teaching when he said, "I have thought when observing a teacher struggling with a disinterested class that teaching is something of a game in which we announce through our actions, ready or not, you will be taught." The start of this lesson today felt a little bit like that, like we were just jumping in here, showing this video to the students and assuming it was going to be relevant. But what I've noticed over the years is students often show up, and especially at 6 or 7 a.m., their cars are in neutral. We have to do something to engage them. So here are 3 things I try to do at the start of every lesson, and I'll illustrate it as we start today's lesson. First, try to do something to engage the students physically, mentally. The more of your students you can involve in whatever you do, the better. Second, make it relevant. Maybe the foundation of the Salt Lake Temple and how it's been strengthened isn't something that a lot of your students would find relevant, except for maybe a couple of your engineers in the class. Third, as you do this activity that engages the students, make sure the end goal is to drive them into the scriptures looking for something specifically. That way they're excited to get into the scriptures and to go find something that you've created a readiness within them to want to find that answer. This activity, this driving them into the scriptures, all should happen within a span of time, a short span of time. I love what Emily Belle Freeman taught about how fast we should get students in the scriptures.
The Lord's words are powerful. That's the power in a lesson. And if we can get into those words and we can teach those words, there will be great power there. In our family, we have a family rule. And if you ever come and watch any of us speak and any of the rest of us are there, you'll watch. My kids will do the same thing. Even if they come and I'm teaching gospel doctrine, I can see them. The lesson starts, everybody pulls out their phone or their watch. And I watch them watch their watch. And the rule in our family is within 5 minutes of beginning a lesson, you have either opened the scriptures with the class or you have gone to the talk with the class. And it's kind of a rule of thumb that we have. But we all know it about each other, and we all watch each other to see how quickly will we get into the Word.
So within 5 minutes, we want to be in the scriptures, letting the students feel the power of the Word. But taking those few minutes at the start of class to engage your students, to put them in drive, will often give you enough momentum to carry them throughout the lesson. So this is how I would start today's lesson. I would have them get into teams, and you do it according to how many students you have, and maybe 2, maybe 3 teams. Let them know they have 60 seconds to build the tallest tower they can. Now I would just grab some Jenga blocks at my house or some other blocks that I might have. If you don't have any, reach out to your co-teacher or to some of the other students in class, and maybe they have some that they can bring. So in 60 seconds, the teams start building a tower as tall as they can. Have them do this at the front of class or somewhere on a table where they all build their towers by each other. So when it's done, you're going to take a fan that you have plugged in and you're going to blow on those towers and see if they fall down or not. If they've gone for height, probably most of them are going to blow over. Give them a second chance and say, we're going to do round 2. Now that you know what's going to happen when you're done building your tower, go ahead and rebuild it, knowing the storm is coming. So let them have 1 more minute. They rebuild their tower, but this time they're thinking about that foundation and how they're going to build it so that it won't blow over. Well, blow on it again 1 more time with the fan, and then invite the students to turn to Hegemann chapter 5, and specifically as a team, read this verse together, making as many connections as possible between the activity they just did and then what's described in the verse. And boy, I would let them really do a deep dive into this and really pick apart the verse, looking for all the comparisons they can come up with. And then as we go back into the teacher's manual, then give them a minute to share what connections they found with the other teams. Then we're just going to jump right in the teacher's manual. And I love the questions that they've outlined in the teacher's manual. So pick and choose which one of these you think would be most relevant for your students to answer. In the end, you may even have them come up and put some of the things that they've learned from Hegemann chapter 5, verse 12 on the board, or try to summarize it in one statement. We want this truth to come out at some point in time, that if they'll build their spiritual foundation on Jesus Christ, they will not fall. Well, there are several other suggestions in the teacher's manual, all represented in this PowerPoint. I love this quote from President Nelson. You could spend some time on that. I love these pictures, and it leads into allowing the students the opportunity to take a little self-assessment of how strong their spiritual foundation is right now by asking these 5 questions. I would want to make sure and leave time to introduce Doctrinal Mastery. So ask them what is Doctrinal Mastery. This is a great opportunity to invite some of your older students to perhaps come prepared, ready to share the significance that Doctrinal Mastery has played in their life. This video right here really does a fantastic job of teaching the why behind Doctrinal Mastery, so I would for sure show this video. There's some other great activities here and things to ponder as you're talking about Doctrinal Mastery. Again, this is where a student may get up and share their experience. Then I would make sure and leave time to show students this video that explains the Doctrinal Mastery app. So when you play this, it'll walk them through how to download it, the features of the Doctrinal Mastery app, and let them know you're going to use this throughout the school year, because it really is a wonderful resource to help them become familiar with the key phrases, to memorize it, and to know where they're found. They have some fun quizzes in here. There are a bunch of great resources, additional resources that you can look through and see if any of these resonate with you. In the end, I would give students a chance to set a specific goal of something that they want to either continue to do or to start to do to build their foundation upon Jesus Christ, and invite them to participate fully in Doctrinal Mastery this year with a promise that they truly will build their foundation on Jesus Christ if they'll participate in this each day. Teachers, I hope you have a great experience. Reach out if you have any questions about anything that I've explained today, and I hope you're off to a wonderful start this year. Thank you.